Welcome to Eye on America. I'm Michelle Miller. Today we bring you inspiring and inventive stories from the world of sports. In New York, we hear from NBA player Jalen Brunson about his rise to stardom with the help of his father. Then we get a look inside one of the leading video game companies putting a new spin on virtual tennis. But we begin in California, where efforts are underway to revive one of the world's oldest sports. The Game of Ulama is considered to be an inspiration for modern-day American football and soccer. Adam Yamaguchi meets a group of players aiming to reclaim their ancestral culture.
Beneath San Diego's Coronado Bridge, dusk begins to fall in Chicano Park.
You guys are about to witness 4,000 years of history.
The steady heartbeat of the earth reverberates through drums. Sage burns off the bad energy. And conch shells summon the combatants to center court. This is Ulama. The goal is to hit this 10-pound solid rubber ball with only your hip and to try to score in your opponent's end zone. But this is more than just a sport. These athletes are trying to revive a game once played by indigenous peoples like the Aztecs and Mayans for thousands of years. Archaeologists have uncovered more than 2,000 ball courts like these throughout North and Central America.
Cities would come together and play and battle at the court. And this is what resolved a lot of the political indifferences.
Raul Herrera is the vice president of Ahupeme, the U.S. Mesoamerican Hip Ball Game Association. This competition in San Diego is bringing together teams from 5 different states.
Why is it so important to revive this sport?
It's important to revive this sport because it almost became extinct at one point.
Herrera says Spanish colonizers outlawed the sport, which nearly killed the tradition.
It created a massive scar on our community. It almost erased our culture and our identity as indigenous peoples.
What is your hope for the future of this sport?
We want teams in every major city.
Now, half a millennium later, it's resurfacing again in Central and North America, with athletes embracing not just the sport, but the customs as well.
There's a lot of ceremony here.
Yeah, so this game has a lot of tradition. So like, do that.
Miguel Duran is the national trainer for Ahupeme.
Our ancestors, when they played, they were going to battle. So they got warrior painted. They put on their regalia, their attire, to go kick some butt in sport. Instead of hitting each other, we play with the ball.
Duran fell in love with the sport while documenting Ahupeme's official U.S. launch.
I was blown away, and then I asked if I could film the first practice. They're like, yeah, of course. And I asked one of the team players, hey, you guys mind if I, give it a shot? They're like, yeah, of course. On the first hit, I was like, oh, I want to do this.
Duran even traveled to Mexico to learn Ulama's proper techniques and history.
This is the first sport that comes from my culture. This is an inheritance that our ancestors gave to us. Now we get to play it.
So there's a uniform that we have to wear.
Yeah, it's called fajado.
Today, Duran has volunteered to be my instructor. I'll be joining one of the teams in their competition.
This thin leather is supposed to protect this?
Yeah.
First, he shows me how to fasten traditional leather belts to my hip for padding.
You're gonna lift it. And it's gonna be really tight.
Once everything was tight and secured,
yeah.
we worked on some basic drills.
Right out first?
Right, left, stretch it out, there you go. Right hand down, there you go.
Then I was ready. I joined Team Earth, who was up against Team Wind, dueling elements. While my first attempt at gaining a point flopped, I got back up and started to quickly get the hang of things, even earning my team a point. While winning a point brought our team pride, the bigger victory here for Ahupeme is fostering an environment that can honor its ancestry.
It's a way of teaching identity, empowerment, the advances in our culture.
Taking back your narrative.
It's taking back and reclaiming your heritage and your traditions.
We stay in the Golden State for our next story, where a nonprofit is using surf therapy to help thousands of veterans overcome trauma. Carter Evans rides the waves to witness the program in action.
Yeah! You got it! Woo!
There's
There's nothing like the thrill of catching a wave, the adrenaline rush, sensory overload.
And my lens widens. It's kind of surreal.
A surprisingly visual description from someone who can't see a thing.
A little 1 o'clock beer, there you go.
28-year-old Zach Tidwell was a machine gunner in the Marines. Today, he's doing a little group surf therapy with other injured and troubled veterans off the coast of Santa Cruz, California.
It's about building trust. Therefore, you can accomplish things that you never thought you could ever do.
Van Carrazza started Operation Surf more than 2 decades ago to help deal with his own demons.
My drug addiction sent me into a life of all about me. I realized thinking and caring about others was part of my journey of recovery.
Okay, stand up, go.
What we do at Operation Surf is not just to build connection with the ocean, it's actually to build connection with others.
A little bit to your left.
In the water, Zach Tidwell told me about his struggles with alcohol and how his life went into a tailspin after the Marines.
It caught up with me.
A bullet took his sight, but it didn't happen on the battlefield.
So you put the barrel of the gun right here?
Right here.
Wow.
Yeah. I went from what I thought was the lowest place to a lower place.
The Marine is now one of more than 2,000 veterans of Operation Surf. Research has shown spending time in the ocean can help reduce PTSD symptoms by nearly 40%.
Here comes one.
Surfing requires laser focus.
Woo! You're doing it, dude, you're doing it.
That quiets the mind by shutting out distractions. We're so in the moment, it took a while before I realized his guide didn't make the wave, and Zach relies on verbal cues.
Stand up, up. You got it, yeah!
An incredible accomplishment for Zach. Infectious for the rest of us.
Dude, that was so awesome. That was just you and me. We lost your coach.
It's cool, man.
That was pretty awesome.
Once you're up, it's in the zone.
That's it, man.
An image I'll never forget, and he'll never see.
Yeah!
Coming up, basketball is a family affair for this rising NBA star. That story is next. Welcome back. New York Knicks player Jalen Brunson is quickly becoming an NBA superstar, an accomplishment he credits in large part to Rick Brunson, his assistant coach and father. Nate Burleson speaks with the family about their success and the complex relationship between player and father.
Brunson with a gorgeous move. The blow by and the scoop and score.
On any given night in the NBA, Jalen Brunson is among the game's very best.
Brunson gets inside again, layup off the glass, count it, and one.
When it comes to basketball, I don't feel pressure at all. I don't see anything to do with basketball as pressure.
Is he the fastest? No.
Brunson has to watch it. He's surrounded by Rockets.
Able to get free, and the foul.
Is he the biggest? No, he's not.
Brunson up and under, count it, and one.
But Brunson has a knack for winning, and it's something he's been working at his entire life.
He used to wait at the bottom of the steps with the basketball to go work out with his dad.
Really?
And Rick used to be like, nah, I'll come back for you because I'm going to go play with the big guys.
Wait, how young was he when he was doing that?
Like 5.
Yeah, I was young.
Jalen Brunson comes from a basketball family. His dad, Rick Brunson, enjoyed a decade-long professional career, a job little Jalen wanted one day for himself, too.
He was relentless, even from when he was little. And he was very meticulous. So...
What do you mean by meticulous?
Even when we didn't go to games, he would pack his bag, a duffel. We're talking a 4-year-old, pack a duffel, and wear like a little vest or even like a little blazer. And he's like, Mom, I'm going to my game. And it would just be down the hall.
Brunson, nice feet inside, Achua on the slam.
Today, Jalen's game days are at Madison Square Garden in New York City.
We get a printout.
And today, Rick Brunson is an assistant coach for the New York Knicks.
They call me Baby Glove in Seattle.
He's been training his son all his life, but now it's business too.
Was it hard for you to differentiate dad from coach?
At first, yes. he always used to ask me, is this what you want to do for a living? So no matter what mood I was in, the answer is always yes.
When did he start asking you that?
Probably like 7th grade.
Wow.
He always used to say, if a teacher gave you a study guide for a test, you'd take the study guide, you prepare, and you take the test. Well, I'm the study guide. I have taken the test. Are you gonna listen to me or not?
And the older you get, it really starts to make a lot of sense.
It makes sense, like, but as a kid, you're like, I'm annoyed that he's right all the time, but he's right.
Tired is for the weak. Mentally strong. Go.
What comes to mind for you guys?
Trauma.
Good. Go back. Harder. Good. Talk back. Go.
Watching Rick train Jalen and seeing him push your son, your baby, to tears at times, frustration at times, where he's stomping into his room, probably looking at that basketball that he loves so dearly and questioning whether he wants to do this.
I still do that today, by the way.
I've had those moments. I would say to Rick, I'm afraid he's not going to like basketball, so, And it wasn't so much Rick pushing him.
Everything you do has to be legit.
It was more so Rick trying to embed the discipline that it takes.
It's not fast enough. No follow through, not fast enough.
Did you ever feel like you were pushing him too hard? Were you ever conflicted?
No, I never thought that. I would always talk to him and ask him, like, how bad does he want this? Like, how good do you really want to be? And his answer was, like, he wanted to be great.
I won't say I was traumatized, but my dad had access to a very nice air-conditioned facility, but he made me work out in the hot summer sun.
With a weight vest on?
With a weight vest on. His motto was like, hey, you can shoot here, you can shoot anywhere. And so it was more mental than anything.
Brunson drives on Green, gets inside, draws the foul, back shot is good.
Those long summer days training with Dad have paid off.
So you're saying he's shutting them down?
And today at basketball's highest level, they get to enjoy that payoff together, father and son.
How did you turn off the switch from, all right, I'm your trainer, and I'm gonna work you until you improve, and I'm your dad?
When I'm on the court, it's like I'm your coach, I'm your trainer.
You're not dad?
No, I never call him after a game, ever.
Right now in the NBA, you never call him after a game?
That's true.
I don't talk to him.
Why?
Unless he calls me. Like, whether he's emotional, whether he's upset.
The results are the results.
Yeah. There's times where I'm pissed, and then I watch it or I think about it, I'm like, all right, it's not that bad the next morning.
Yeah.
So it helps me. And either I'm right or I've called him and said, man, I thought this, but I was wrong.
I was tripping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This don't happen a lot, though.
I knew he was about to say that.
Ahead, I get a first-hand look at the technology behind some of the most popular sports video games. This is Eye on America. We close our show not on a field or a court, but in a virtual arena. 2K Games is one of the leading sports video game companies in the world, utilizing advanced technology that brings realism and authenticity to games like basketball, golf, and now tennis. I traveled to their company headquarters in California to see firsthand the science and skill behind virtual sports. Look closely. You're not watching a real NBA sporting event,
LeBron!
but a video game of a superstar basketball matchup.
Games are like amusement parks. We build them like amusement parks. You build a series of features, and then people get engaged with those features.
David Ismailer is president of 2K Games, the makers of WWE 2K, PGA 2K, and their biggest hit, the NBA 2K series.
We moved here in 2007.
And what is this place?
This used to be a military base.
We met up at their headquarters in Novato, California.
Especially in sports video games, it used to be that the technology didn't let us build beyond just a simulation. You would build a very small part of the game.
Curry passes to Green.
Today, technology lets us build everything on and off the court.
Blurring the lines between a virtual and real world that some say also boosts the athlete's profile. When did you realize that it's not just the game itself that draws, it's who's in the game?
Those partnerships with the athletes, I would argue we pioneered that. We inserted fashion, music, and those are things that today make us more authentic than just playing the game itself.
In this game,
and they're not alone. 2K's competition includes Madden NFL.
Oh, tremendous goal!
And FIFA games by EA Sports, all vying for a gamer's attention.
We are pushing to make these worlds bigger, more immersive, consume more time, and we have to continue to over-deliver to attract people from television, from movies, from TikTok and social media.
From real life.
Players who are deeply passionate about a sport.
Go!
They watch all of the sports, nonstop. They know the movement of the players. They know the idiosyncrasies of each of the different athletes, the different teams. They will know if the ball isn't being dribbled the same way.
Or if a tennis player's serve is off. Their latest venture is a relaunch of their tennis game, Topspin, featuring legends like Serena Williams and Roger Federer, and new talent like Naomi Osaka and Frances Tiafoe. We caught up with him at the Miami Open.
Man, this is nuts.
Where he got a first look at Topspin 2K's launch trailer.
That is fire. Man, that's an honor, it surely is.
While Tiafoe didn't have much time for video games growing up,
oh, whoa,
he recognizes their potential to inspire kids. What are you hoping to do with the reboot?
Make something that's cool, right? I mean, I think that's the whole idea behind it. Bring it to a younger audience. By doing that, hopefully then they want to play tennis on the actual court, not just on the screens.
As for how they include their athletes,
this is our Photogrametry Rig,
a state-of-the-art mobile face scanning rig to meet athletes on the road and capture their likeness in 3D.
Nice to meet you.
Producers Bill Gale and Daniel Burke at 2K Go put me in the hot seat.
Oh my gosh, I'm in the chair! But this is like the angry yell on the court. It's a happy angry, yeah. 3, 2, 1. Ah! I like how you verbalized it. That's amazing.
Using up to 78 cameras to photograph every muscle, vein, and pore. This is just one layer of everything you do to make.
Yeah, this is basically the first step to get someone's likeness into the video game, right? It starts with the photography, and then that data is given to our CG team, and they basically use software to compile it together.
A few moments later.
So yeah, Michelle, here you are in all its digital glory.
Wow. Did you take that double chin away?
Our artists will definitely be able to do that, yeah, in
Please.
post. But basically what you're seeing here is this is the raw data from the trailer, from the rig, put through reality capture. The software is able to build a 3D model of your head and your face.
Pretty dead on. Realism that's also achieved through motion capture, recording on video the likes of, say, a Roger Federer to perfect his digital avatar.
You basically have all the major sports represented.
Seattle University media professor Chris Paul teaches courses on video games. The sports sector of that industry now represents $21 billion, much of which, he says, comes from microtransactions.
Sports video games are typically monetized by selling you an initial copy of the game, but then making also a ton of money from things that they sell you within the game.
So it sounds like they're encouraging you to level up.
Yeah, and they're charging you for it. And each year it gets a little bit harder or a little bit more expensive, right? It's a way that they can disassociate the initial price from the amount of revenue they get from the game. And other sectors of the gaming industry are really jealous of that because it's become a norm in sports video games that anytime it tries to get ported into other video games, it gets sticky and doesn't necessarily work well.
That constant churn may generate revenue, but decreases a product's shelf life, forcing audiences to buy the next generation.
Yep.
Serena?
Yep, and then hit any of these buttons. There you go.
Okay, where are we playing?
We want to play
Wimbledon, iconic.
All right, this stick moves you, and this stick hits the ball.
It's an experience that even first-timers can get into. Oh, I gotta
move your stick.
And then hit. Oh, what? That was not out.
You gonna challenge the line judge?
Obviously, you've played before.
A little bit.
A complete immersion in some subtle and not so subtle ways. Who is that grunting?
There are unique grunts that you can assign when you create your own player, or that each of the pros have. You can decide when they grunt, but a real part of tennis.
That attention to realism, critics say, fosters a gamer's obsession. But Professor Chris Paul insists there's a bigger picture.
Video games are an important cultural force, and there are good things about them, and there are bad things about them, just like anything else. We just need to understand them because they teach us about who we are and what we value.
And for some, that value in play can't be beat. Okay, why am I not playing you, David?
Let's go. Oh. Catch that? That was faster than I expected it to go.
Yeah, baby. It's called being a ringer. For more stories like these and live coverage of breaking news, stream us right here on CBS News 24/7. I'm Michelle Miller. Thank you for watching Eye on America.